So, instead of opting to do a PowerPoint or a Prezi or whatever, I have decided to conjure my ancestors. As you can see, yeah, I don't have any, like, candles or incense or anything because, frankly, Atchison Hall isn't very keen on open flame. But I do have this, flashlight here. So, here we go. We are going to have ourselves an old-fashioned seance. Minus the candles and the incense and all the cool stuff that comes with it, but that's fine. Antonin Artaud! Antonin Artaud! Hey, it's Antonin! What's up? Bonjour. So, I just want to say, I am a big fan. I actually have a copy of Tiger Beat with your face on it, and you're pretty dreamy. Is dead. Yeah. So, let's get down to it. I want to start our conversation off with some poetry, because you're a poet, and I'm a poet, and I really admire that, personally. An actor seen as if through crystals, inspiration in stages, one mustn't let in too much literature. Fancy. Listen to this. I know you are up there somewhere, floating in space and listening to the conditions of my heart. People think I'm crazy, but I believe it anyways. Somewhere floating in the sky, waiting for people who are saying their last goodbyes, perpetually floating and waiting for our cries, whispers, hopes, fears. Twinsies! Yes, we are both poets. Very nice. So, what are some of my burning questions for you? Because you don't really get people to come back from the dead every day, so... Oh, I know. Tell me about your letters with Jacques Rivere when he wouldn't publish your poems in the Nobel Review. Let's talk about that. Well, I said, do you think that a poem which is faulty, but which has fine and powerful things in it, can be considered to have less literary authenticity and power of action than a poem which is perfect but without inner resonance? And then I offered to send him a copy of Trick Track du Ciel, which is a booklet of poems that had just been published, and said, "You will then be able to let me know your definitive evaluation of my poems." And then I went and ate a scone. That was that. I'm in love. What? Never mind. You're my hero. Because you do everything. So tell me how being multi-talented helps with your work in the theater. Well, I say the theater can only be a total spectacle, and for that it must have that total freedom which exists in music, poetry, or painting, and from which it has been until now curiously estranged. I thought theater was reaching a decline, and that the only way that it could reach that upslope again would be through multidisciplinary forms of art. That is super cool. Okay, you should summon Ibsen now. I'm going to go back to my peyote garden in the sky. I love you! Awkward. Okay. Ibsen, 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 Ibsen. Oh, hi, Henrik Ibsen. How do you do? Great. I requested your presence for a class project. What class? Theater history, too. Okay. Because if it was for human gender and sexuality again, ain't nobody got time for that. Let's talk about that. People said when Nora walked out on her husband in a doll's house, it was like the door slam heard round the world. But in reality, the Norwegian Women's Rights League threw me this birthday banquet of sorts, and I had to awkwardly tell them that I must thank you for the toast, but must disclaim the honors of having consciously worked for the women's rights movement. My task has been the description of humanity. So it was really about an individual's human experience, about being human, not feminism. This is correct. Well, people got that twisted. So the gender and sexuality class wasn't very happy, were they? No. Sorry. Well, let's talk about another reason you are awesome. Because I'm a feminist, but you know, it is about the human experience now. Anyways, let's chat about the 1850s Norway nationalism propaganda that you loved so much. Sarcasm. Yeah, no. The nationalism period for art in the 1850s was quite the hindrance to my own art and what I really wanted to do. So I ended up writing a poem based on a national painting, and soon I just said, screw it, I'm going to start doing things that I want to do, like metaphysical theatrical works. I was criticized for this. Yeah, I was told that it was a waste of my time. Look at you doing your own thing, you rebel. Sure. I like that you wrote about controversial topics too. Controversy's good. Enemy of the people? Yes, a doctor discovers that the famous town bath is contaminated, but no one believes him, and he's ran out of town because he's making these allegations. This play was written following my poorly received Ghosts, and it reflects how people clumped together and criticized it. A big F you. Yup, and Ghosts is basically me attacking Victorian morality. Kick ass. So, I gotta conjure Jonson now, but it was nice chatting. Yep. Okay, so, last but not least, Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson, Ben Jonson, Ben Jonson, Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson! How do you do? I am doing really well, actually. I just got done talking to Ibsen and Artaud. Cool guys. Haven't been acquainted. Yeah. So anyways, I want to talk about the play The Isle of the Dogs because you are the coolest person ever, in my opinion. Because you got your whole cast and crew arrested because you wrote something so controversial. That is awesome. Yes, but not at the time. We all got the theaters in London closed too, and all the copies of the play were destroyed because the play was considered an assault on the reputation of a high-ranking official. So basically, though, this play shaped foreign policy. Well, yes. It discussed poor relations between England and Poland and the smuggling of contraband goods in the late 1590s. Queen Elizabeth I had to sit down with the Polish ambassador when it was all said and done. Oh, cool. Well, thank you. The last thing I want to talk to you so you can get back to heaven. Well, yeah, heaven. But anyways, the last thing I want to talk to you about is how you broke neoclassical rules. That was pretty ballsy for that time. Yes, people made a big deal because every man in his humor spanned over 2.5 days versus 12 hours. In Cynthia's Revels, time really isn't referred to or specifically defined, and when it's mentioned in the text, only the idea of day passing into night or vice versa is referred to. I don't see what the big deal is anyways. I guess people just have short attention spans. Man, neoclassical rules were pretty stupid anyways. I mean, there aren't really any rules you can follow. You just gotta do your own thing. Know what I'm saying? Holla! Well, it was nice chatting, but I gotta go because my roommate's coming back soon, and I don't want her seeing me talking to dead guys. No offense. Well, it was fun talking to dead guys, and I hope you all learned something. Peace out, Girl Scouts!